Hi, everybody. I am Shelly B, a conservative Black sister surviving in a hot mess world. And today's hot mess is people getting locked up for PP loans, food stamp fraud, welfare fraud, and all kinds of fraud against government agencies, student loans, all kinds of things. People are getting locked up for this fraud. But before we get into this, please subscribe to this channel. I would really appreciate it if you will help a sister out and just subscribe to this channel. Whatever platform you're listening, it takes 10 seconds to leave this one and go to YouTube and subscribe to that channel. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. You know how it is. You know what you got to do. But anyway, I just had to come on here because I wasn't even going to talk about this, but I just saw a video of lots of people that have gotten letters that they're going to be locked up for PP loan fraud. Now, I have a business and I actually got one of those things for the PPP loan. And, I briefly considered maybe applying for it, but then when I saw all the questions that they were asking and stuff like that, I just was like, no, it's not worth it, because my business was new and I didn't really have the numbers that I needed to qualify, and I didn't do it. But a lot of people, fudge the numbers, and they are screwed today because they are getting locked up. Like, people are really getting locked up. And the crazy thing about it is that some people are getting 6 years. One person, the most I heard, was like 45 years for like 20-something thousand dollars, or 45,000, something like that. So it's hard federal time that people are getting for this. And I just couldn't believe this. I couldn't believe, I wasn't really surprised that people got caught, because it looks like this administration is really not playing about the fraud, be it from civilians or the government, so I wasn't really surprised when they started going after people over these loans and stuff like that. But when those loans came out, those PPP loans, and I think it was like a small business association loan, another loan like that. That might have been the one I got. I can't remember, because they were giving away lots of money during COVID, and I didn't qualify for any of that money that they gave out. But a lot of people decided to fraud the government. And sadly enough, a lot of Black people did that. And a lot of them are going to prison. And you're going to see in this video of one woman's, perspective of why she thinks that they even did this. Because, I feel like they, had discernment on people that would fraud. So this is very fascinating. This is really interesting. So let's listen to this video right here, because this is a trip of all of these people that are getting locked up for this. Like, in the list, it's thousands of people on the list. And I remember when this just went like wildfire through the hood, like that everybody's just thinking it's free money. But there's no such thing as free money. Any money you get, you have to do something for it. And this, people just need to have more discernment. And especially when it comes to the government, because they're not going to do anything for you without you damn near selling your soul. You got to give up all your damn information. That's why I don't really like to apply for too many social services. I get unemployment sometimes, and that is even annoying enough of what they got to know, to give you this little bit of money. So, these people, they heartbroken. They heartbroken. I can't believe this. People are really going to jail for hard time, decades. That's the part that wore me out, was the time these people are getting. Let me see if I can open this video in a better way. Hold on, guys. Okay, hold on. Let me just do this. Hold on, because I didn't have this set up right, and I'm trying to set it up in a better way. Okay, let's see here. Okay, this will work better. Okay, now listen to this foolishness, because I'm telling you, I can't believe that people fell for this, but they did.
I heard them PPP loans to touch back down. Who ain't finna be on that train? Me? Baby, lock me up. throw away the key, put it under the jail, do what you gotta do, baby. Our prison time, fed time, the money gonna be there when I get out. Everybody that did that PPP loan last time is out and free. They ain't did no jail time. They ain't even get caught. Who? PPP loan, here I come, baby. PPP stand
Now you see how ignorant certain Negroes are. You know, a lot of people had that attitude, like, oh, it's free money, I'm gonna get this money. And I don't know why they thought that you could take tens of thousands of dollars. People frauded these loans for millions of dollars. You're going to see. And legitimate businesses did it and had the right numbers, and they, you know, they were fine. And some of them got their loans forgiven too. But wait till you see who those people were.
for pressure. Okay, I'm finna apply it, and I'm finna get that loan back. I already know what I'm doing with the money, babe. I'm going to buy me a dinosaur. I'm finna go buy me a giraffe. All kind of.
See, this is the dumb thing. If they were smart and were going to fraud the government, the best thing you could have did is flip that money, because when the government comes for you, all they want is their money back. So if you can give the money back, they ain't going to lock your ass up. But if you can't pay that money back, you're getting locked up. And none of these people can pay the money back because they bought stupid stuff, cars, clothes, houses, and things like that. The smartest thing you could have done is try to flip that money. But of course, they did not do this.
Unnecessary stuff to get rid of the money. I might buy up this neighborhood that I'm living in. I don't know. It just depends on how I might be fit. PPP.
She sounds so ignorant, because no matter what amount of money you get, it's not enough to live off of forever. And if you go to prison for 20 years, I don't care how much money they give you, you're not going to live off of the money forever. And they'll probably seize all your assets and stuff like this, if she has any.
Gonna see me, gonna hear me, gonna feel me, baby. I need it in my life.
And then how dumb you gonna be to get on TikTok and tell people that that's the plan? Some people are ignoramuses and they deserve everything they get in life. And I just have to stress that most Black people are not like this, but these are the Black people that they always present. These are the Black people that are going to go viral because, you know, God-fearing, law-abiding Black people, they don't show those people on media in the news. So it really pisses off Black people that people like this, and we have a name for them, but I won't say it here, act like this.
Declining this time, yeah. Sign me up. How much is the payout? When do I get it? How long do it take? Will they be able to track it? Will they know which account I done put it in? Let's go.
Yes, they will know what account you put it in. They're going to find you and they're going to lock you up.
Arrest warrants are dropping. Arrests are being made right now as we speak. Do you know who's going down? The first person is Love and Hip Hop star, was sentenced to over 17 years in federal.
Can y'all get ready for these sentences? They are locking people. Now wait till you hear why they're doing it like this and why they even presented this easy plan to steal this money. Y'all better pay attention.
Federal prison for misusing PPP loan money. They use it on child support allegedly and luxury items. The next person to go down is an Olympic skater. For $10 million, he screwed the government for $10 million. You know what he used the money for? To finance a film with our tax money.
And see, that's where Doge came in, because they saw all that fraud and they started going after it. Those people would have probably gotten away with this if it hadn't been for those doggone Doge people. If it hadn't been for Donald Trump and Elon Musk and Doge, you know what I mean? Those people might have got away with that, because it doesn't seem like the Democrat Party cares at all about how our tax dollars are spent and wasted and things like that. It's just crazy.
Lisa Bloom, allegedly a prominent attorney in Los Angeles, a woman who represented all the accusers for that Harvey Weinstein weirdo. They had to pay a fine of $274,000. These cases underscore that PPP funds, that free money wasn't so free.
They had to pay a fine and they didn't have to go to prison. So I'd like to hear more in depth about that story, because all the Black ones, they going to prison.
Lie on your application? Are you on the list? The list is right down here. I'm going to send you to ProPublica PPP tracker. check to see if your name.
And that's hilarious. The government are some serious G's because they put a website together of all the people they're going to lock up. So I guess to try to see who's going to come and try to pay them back the money and stuff like that. You know, if you pay them back the money, you're not going to go to jail. If you can't pay that money back, your ass is grass.
Names on the list. You're going to be surprised of all the companies. Put your old business in there. Put your neighbor in there. You're going to see all the people that got free money.
People are now going to jail for taking out PPP loans back in 2020 when they really didn't need to. Now, the woman that I showed you there has gotten the biggest sentencing that any of us have seen. She is going to prison for 9.5 years. She is currently—
That ain't the biggest sentence, because one of the biggest sentences I seen was 45 years. 45 years, I think, in Texas. They are not playing. Y'all better be scared as hell. You better take out a loan or something for somewhere else and pay these feds back their money.
counting down on her TikTok her next 30 days here before she goes and surrenders and gives herself up to police. This woman here was making a video telling people that you did not have to take out the PPP loan. Everybody was doing it back in 2020, and now they're finally starting to go to jail. And we don't know exactly how.
I'm telling you, those PP loans went through the hood like wildfire. That's all everybody was talking about is, oh, the government's giving free money. It's easy to get. It's easy to get. If it's that easy, clearly you should think something is going to be wrong with it. Because anytime the government gives you money, they take you through leaps and bounds and every type of hurdle to give you $2.
How long this guy is going away for, but he said, I might be going away for a while. That PPP loan came back to bite me. And as people in his comment section pointed out, you thought you were committing fraud, was doing something right. I got $40K in PPP loans and 100% went to pay my employees, and I got a forgiveness letter with no issue.
Now, how about that? All of the people that use the money wisely and use the money legitimately, they got forgiveness. So imagine that. Imagine that. So I think that was a good thing that they did. You know what I'm saying? They went after the people that frauded, but the people that didn't fraud, the loan was forgiven. That's amazing. Some people have forgiveness on loans for millions of dollars, but that fraud, I don't know how the government afforded to forgive those loans with all the fraud that they had in this program, but maybe they saved the money elsewhere.
My PPP loan was great. I followed the guidelines. When you look up PPP loan, the last one, the fourth one right there, back in October. But in the past 11 hours, 3 different people have been charged with crimes regarding their PPP loan. So if you know anyone that got a PPP loan in 2020, check on them.
PPP loan fraud cases are popping up all over the country, but this particular one really caught my attention. 39-year-old Anton Matthews of Wheeling, West Virginia was just indicted for stealing $50,000 in a CARES Act loan fraud. In his loan application, he said he was operating a food truck making $100,000 a year, when in
Are y'all sitting down? This is unbelievable.
actuality he was serving time in prison for cocaine distribution. Yes, you heard that right. An inmate in federal prison successfully navigated the PPP loan application process to rip off $50,000.
You know, every government system and every government agency is a hot mess. Doge proved that. It's a hot mess across the board, across all agencies, the prison system, wherever it is, the states are a mess. This whole government from top to bottom is just a hot ass mess.
While wearing an orange jumpsuit doing air squats in the exercise yard. And while I disapprove of any fraud, I kind of got to respect the hustle here, just a little bit. Mostly, I wish I was the FBI special agent assigned this case. I suspect that proving this one beyond a reasonable doubt won't be a heavy lift. And that's what happened. Have a great day and be cool.
That's crazy.
Seth Rogen took out a $1.8 million PPP loan. And before you watch the rest of this video, in December, I think, of 2024, he came out with a new drink. It's called Houseplant. I suggest you go and support him and buy it because it has 3 milligrams of THC in it. And it might help the hit when I tell you that his loan most likely was forgiven. A lot of
a 1.8 million loan was forgiven. All of these companies that took these loans that they weren't able to detect any fraud, because I don't know his story, but they weren't able to detect any fraud. They were all forgiven. Now that's amazing.
So from what I'm reading, it's just if the company met certain criteria, they forgave the loan. Is basically. So if you paid payroll, you did this with the money, you did that. I don't know if anything was checked on anyone, but we know So he says his quote, he's worth 80 million. His quote, life as I see it is R-rated. I don't even know how to answer that, but stay tuned because today I'm gonna bring down the banking system in a fun way.
Y'all might not see me too much
This is
longer.
hilarious.
I ended up getting a letter in the mail from the IRS.
He crying.
Fucking PPP loan got my motherfucking ass. That shit got me. I took out a loan for $50,000 and I don't know how I'm gonna pay that shit back. Like when you in a fucked up situation, you in a bind, you in a fucked up.
And you know what? Honestly, I do have to, throw in here that during COVID, they locked you out of your job. A lot of people got fired, especially Black people, for not taking the vaccine because nobody took less vaccines than Black people, aside from PhDs, and for the obvious reasons why PhDs didn't take it because they clearly knew the risk. So Black people did suffer the most in this, and a lot of people were in hard situations and they didn't have money and they're struggling and they didn't have jobs to pay, and a lot of people fell victim to this. And I kind of feel like it's by design. You're going to hear one woman's perspective, and I really do believe that she is right in that perspective. So this is very deep.
Situation, man, you willing to do any motherfucking thing to get out that shit. You willing to do anything to get out that motherfucking shit. I was just in a tight spot. I was in a tight spot, and I needed some money. And I didn't know they was just offering people money, and it's just like we was in a motherfucking recession. And the fucking pandemic, man, wasn't nobody working for real, man.
That's
and
true.
They told me I gotta pay the money back, or I'm gonna face federal prison time, dog. Federal prison time, man. It's like y'all was just trying to. It's like this was a setup or some shit.
And that's what you're gonna hear later, that they do feel that it was a setup, because they gave the money away so easy. But wait till you hear why they would set people up like this. You know what I'm saying? Because it really is sad, because at the time people felt like, like that news just spread through the hood like wildfire. It just spread amongst poor people like wildfire, and people took advantage of it because, like he said, it was during the pandemic. Nobody's working. Nobody has a job. You're not vaccinated. You can't work, and this and that. So a lot of people felt like they were, in a situation where they're like in a rock and a hard place or whatever. And it is kind of sad for these people. And I feel like the time that they're getting is unbelievable, but there may be a reason why they're doing this. That's very diabolical.
That was y'all playing with us like that, man. Why? This shit ain't right. This shit ain't right. Donald Trump, you got to do something about this, bro. Help a nigga out. You say you fuck with us. Shit, show me.
Well, one thing about Donald Trump, he ain't messing around. He's trying to make America great again. They trying to cut fraud and all that stuff. So y'all ain't getting no pardon. Now, if you was wrongfully convicted of a crime, reach out to Alice Marie Johnson and see if you can get on the president's pardon list. But other than that, your ass is grass. Because I don't feel this administration has no sympathy for deadbeats. I mean, the big beautiful bill, the reason why Democrats don't like it, because they're not cutting Medicaid for civilians or for Americans. They cut all of those illegal aliens off of it. They cut them off of all them damn social services. They cut able-bodied people off of them social services. So, they cut the Board of Ed, because a lot of people everybody's crying about the Board of Ed, but they don't realize that the Board of Ed, most of that money does not even go to schools. So it's a scam. It's just a scam, and people don't understand. They're fighting for something that they don't even understand how diabolical these agencies are and how corrupt the Democratic government was. I mean, I feel like all governments corrupt, and I feel like they lie a lot and they waste money and they, use money for things that we probably wouldn't approve of. But Democrats have been the worst historically since the beginning of time. They have just been the most diabolical party. Do the research. They are terrible.
Show me, Donald Trump. Fuck with me, nigga.
in a payment protection plan con. An OC man is accused of taking millions of dollars from the government and spending it on exotic race cars. Investigators say he went to great lengths to cash in on the business program.
KCAL 9 Orange County reporter Stacey Butler with how they say he pulled off the scheme.
A Ferrari, a Bentley, a Lamborghini, millions of dollars worth of
How dumb you got to be to fraud the government for millions of dollars and buy cars and not get something that is going to flip the money so that when your ass get locked up with your dumb ass, you can come out and have something or pay the money back when the government. To me, if people were smart and they took that money and flipped it, they were winners. And I wonder if there's any people that exist like that, because if you took that money and flipped it, you came out a winner. You got free money, you set yourself up, and you paid the money back. You know, scamming money from the government is like taking money from a loan shark. But even in this case, if you just pay what you took from them, they'll leave you alone. They just want the money back. But they know that a lot of people are going to buy dumb crap with it, and they're not going to be able to pay it back. And then they get you in prison for decades for a reason that is just diabolical. And I can't even say that I couldn't believe it. I did believe it. But then if you don't want that to happen to you, don't be a criminal. There are rare instances where people are, wrongfully convicted or harshly convicted of crimes that they really shouldn't have had so much time for. And those are the people that the Trump administration are pardoning. But people that actually do dumb crap like this, you set yourself up for failure like this, and you deserve the outcome. You should have better discernment. Teach your kids and teach, the people that you love not to be this stupid.
sports cars purchased with your tax dollars, the feds say, by a scam artist who defrauded a pandemic relief fund.
Instead of using the money like a legitimate business to, help a business stay afloat, instead, what's alleged is that he used the money for his own personal expenses, to take lavish vacations, and to purchase 3 luxury sports cars. A Bentley, a Ferrari, and a Lamborghini.
Investigators say last spring, 38-year-old Mustafa Kadiri applied for $5 million in PPP.
No, he got $5 million, and you don't think the government is going to miss $5 million? Make it make sense. And then you get $5 million, and you don't even take some of the money and try to flip that money? Oh, my God.
PPP loans and got them. They say he used fake companies. He even had 4 business addresses in Newport Beach, websites online.
Hi, looking for LaDonna Wiggins. My name's Myra with ABC 13.
Tuesday afternoon, we went to a home in Cyprus that court documents state 37-year-old LaDonna Wiggins purchased using money she received from the CARES Act. The document says Wiggins received about $3.7 million.
How the hell do you scam? How does the government write you a check for $3.5 million? This is crazy. And people think that they're not going to get caught for $3 million. But they're catching people that stole $20 million.
After
not $20 million, $20,000. I saw a person on here get like decades for $20,000 in Texas. So if you're in Texas, they giving y'all a hard time.
Submitting 2 PPP loan applications for businesses known as Wiggins and Grams Enterprises, LLC, and Pink Lady Line. The documents state she used the funds to make lavish personal purchases, this home allegedly being one of them.
Hi, looking for LaDonna Wiggins. She's not here. She's not here.
When someone finally came to the door, I asked this woman about the...
Let's skip some because I want to show you some more things. Now, this is a mess.
Faces up to 30 years in federal prison.
That woman with that house and that got the 3.5 is facing 30 years. Keep playing with the feds, y'all. Keep playing.
Mayra Moreno.
The man is now in federal custody after being indicted for submitting a fake PPP loan application. Police say 32-year-old Kelton McLaren applied for COVID relief, this loan in May of 2021. He claimed that his business, which was named after him was established in 2019 and had a gross income of $100,000 a year for that year. Police say McLaren was claiming that he was running the business during the same time frame. He was either behind bars or living at a halfway house. Now, we're told that he received almost $21,000.
Why the hell people in prison applying for these loans? This is insane. This is insane how that program was set up. And for $21,000 he stole, he's getting 30 years. That's crazy.
$1,000 from the Paycheck Protection Program and used that money for things like DoorDash, Facebook purchases, even hotels. Then last April, McLaren applied for loan forgiveness so he didn't have to pay back the PPP loan, claiming that he had 20 employees and spent the money on payroll. McLaren is charged with wire.
Let me tell you what I think is going on here. So it looks like he's facing.
He stole that money, then go and try to get forgiveness for stealing the money. Now that is off the wall.
Facing 30 years, which he might not actually get the 30 years. He might take a plea bargain for something less. But say even if he takes 5 years, I mean, for $21,000, even 5 years is too much. I mean, it's crazy. They're really going after people.
So this is another PPP loan story. So here we got Kristen Benrick. She's 52 years old. So apparently Texas is not playing when it comes to these PPP loans.
Texas is going
this lady
hard.
had only took out $405,340. She's facing 45 years behind jail. She was indicted on 6 wire fraud charges. So as you can see,
years.
Another PPP loan fraudster had more than 200,000.
Does that lady look like a criminal that's getting 45 years in prison, like a killer or something? But they're going hard for this. I don't know. This is crazy. I feel like these sentences are a lot. I could be wrong, but 45 years for stealing money is not even a violent crime. I don't know. I don't know what to think. But how do you guys think about this? This is crazy.
In loans, and that's who they're looking at. They're looking at the big fishes. They knew she had a business, so they are also taking down the business owners, not just the people who submitted fraudulent paperwork. So she had a business from 2015 through 2022, and she took out $405,000 for that. And she basically just lied about how many employees she had, and she went out and used the funds on luxurious items like the rest of them.
This is the dumb shit, like she said, like the rest of them. You steal money from the government, and you don't try to build your business. You don't try to create another business. You don't try to flip this money in some way. You buy luxury items and dumb shit. Now, when they come for the money back, you can't pay the money back. That doesn't make sense.
So chances are, if you use the money on luxurious items and you didn't pay any employees and you took over $200,000, they're coming after you this year for sure. This is what the feds is saying, that they are catching the big fraudsters. And then they'll get to the people who took lower, they got 20 years to catch these people. So they'll do that in the latter.
And they got 20 years to catch y'all. They're going to be locking people up for the next 20 years. So you might be thinking you getting away, and 10 or 15 years from now, they come and get your ass and lock you up for that PPP loan. That's crazy.
And I don't know. She needs to contact the other people I did. This lady got 5 years and she took $6 million. So Texas don't seem like they're playing. And y'all,
that's what I'm saying. The sentences are so vastly different. Like some people, like that one guy got 45 years for 20,000. And if somebody still 5 million, get 5 years. I would like to know how they're determining these sentences, because it's not seeming fair somehow.
Drop a comment. They said she was out of Dallas, but then another article says she was from Houston. But this is her business. It's called Clearly Kristen. It's a jewelry business. And she was an actual business owner. So the peace be with the people who didn't have a business at all and did this. So y'all drop a comment on what you think.
I choose integrity and whatever else.
Now, this story is a trip. This lady right here is a damn trip. That's why you can't trust nobody. Everybody can be corrupt.
I don't choose selling your soul to the devil. What part makes it selling your soul? Because that means I'm willing to do anything, belittle myself and degrade myself for the love of what? Of $1. I'm not going to do it. My integrity, what my kids and how my kids respect me and view me means more to me than me earning a quick dollar, portraying to be something that I'm not.
Now, this all sounds good, but keep listening.
Or it may they very well may be that way. That might be true. What she's singing about may have just happened. I don't know. I'm not there to judge. I don't care. But I'm not willing to put that thought.
Shalitha Renee Robertson was indicted on charges that she stole millions of tax dollars. Hello, it's Justin Gray with Channel 2. I'm trying to reach Shalitha Robertson. No answer at the call box to the court gate.
So she done said all of that, and she stole millions of dollars to buy luxury items and whatever else she said she would never do. These people are tripped. Just keep listening to this lady and who she is.
Chateau Royale, the Grand, South Fulton Estate, listed with the Secretary of State as the principal address of Shalitha Robertson's company, the Renee Group. Shalitha Renee Robertson is a former Atlanta police officer and Atlanta city attorney who currently has a lucrative contract with DeKalb County worth millions.
She was just sentenced to 7 years behind bars after being found guilty for pandemic loan fraud over $15 million worth.
Yes, that's the highest amount that I heard so far, 15 million. And she was an attorney with contracts with the city and stuff like that. So that's just pure greedy because she was getting money, but she just was being greedy.
Robertson gave out this advice in 2023.
That's what I've always told you. Don't ever chase the money. The money will come. Chase the universe in the bag. That's it. Chase your passion, baby. Chase your dream. The money will come.
Yeah, the money will come courtesy of the American taxpayers. Because safe to say, she didn't practice what she preached. In April and May of 2020, Robertson chose to follow the money and fraudulently applied for millions of dollars in government loans for 4 businesses that she owned. And then she hooked herself up with luxury items that came with a very steep price tag, such as a swanky Rolls Royce, a 10-carat diamond ring.
I am Shalitha Robertson, and I want to serve as your Superior Court judge. For more than 30 years, I've served the public as a police officer, a public defender, and a city attorney. I love America. I respect the Constitution. I'll be effective, efficient, fair, and firm. I'll be an interpreter of the law, not an advocate.
But she breaks the law. That is embarrassing. That is a hot mess. I don't even know.
Shalitha Robertson, and I'm ready to be your judge.
Thank God they got her off the bench. Can you imagine a corrupt person like that as a judge? Oh my God. Whatever state she's in, dodged it, a major bullet.
One thing, I don't give a fuck about that PPP warrant list. Don't motherfucker calling me talking about your cap. You heard about it? It's like, bro, it don't matter to me. They ain't coming to get me. They might come and get your peoples, but they ain't getting me. The number one reason is my name ain't Arthur.
How dumb is he on here? These people, oh my God. Just the biggest ignoramuses I've ever seen. Like, this is crazy.
You take that where you want to take it.
Yo, so I'm seeing everybody posting about this PPP shit, right? And like, I'm like, damn, hold up, is they really liking people? So me personally, I just felt like if you was missing out on that shit, you was done. Like, and at that time, I was just at a low time in my life when the PPP shit was going on. It just caught me at a winter time. So done, like, yeah. Yo, why the fuck I just go on the website?
And I'm telling you, it is messed up because that was a terrible time for people, especially Black people. Because like I said, we suffered the most because we didn't take it, couldn't get a job, nobody's working. And if you could get a job, you can't get a job because you don't have the vaccine. It was just horrible for our community. And I think people thought that was a lifeline, never thinking that it would come back to bite them.
That one of the ladies said you can go up on her and it's a warrant list for everybody that did the PPP. Why the fuck is my name really on there? Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Like, I wasn't the one that did that shit. My cousin typed that shit up. Like, would I get in trouble if she was the one that did all the typing shit? Like,
now to see the thing, he said his cousin did it for him and used his name to do it. That's why you should never allow any things like that to go on your name. You know, he's going to go for it because she's not going to go for it. He's going to go because it's in his name, unless he could prove some way that she frauded and used his name without his knowledge or something like that. But he's going, and she's probably not going to go anywhere.
I didn't even know what was going on. She just told me I could get some money. Shit, give her $3,500. I ain't gonna lie though, I'm low-key scared as shit. Like everybody else that did that shit, can we make like a group
So
chat?
you see how this cousin played it to him that she could get the money. She'll fill out the application form the way he needs to fraud the government, where he'll qualify for the money, and he gave her part of the money. So he's going, and he's on TikTok admitting that. You know what I mean? So he's going.
check on each other every day or something?
I just got off the phone with the lawyer. He's telling me the best options that I have are to turn myself in. Like, what did I do to deserve this?
17 members of the Broward Sheriff's Office, which include both BSO deputies and detention deputies, released from the federal courthouse in Fort
Well, you
Lauderdale.
can see lawyers, judges, all kind of people use this fraud. All kinds of people. Now, the people that are already getting money, they were just like super greedy, but I can see why poor people did it. And I feel like the sentences are incredible, especially the conditions that they were living under at the time that forced people to make these bad choices. But like people that were already getting money, lawyers and judges and police officers and the people that had jobs the whole pandemic and all that, I think that they should look at all of those things, you know, because sometimes a lot of people, this was just a crime of survival. You know, where some people was just a pure crime of greed. So I feel like they should look at it like that, but they're not.
After being indicted on charges that include wire fraud after federal investigators said they fraudulently applied for and received funds from the Paycheck Protection Program, or PPP loans. Attorney Brian Silber represents 3 of the defendants, some of whom have either been suspended or placed on leave pending the outcome of the investigation.
I can't comment on the nature of the case.
Sheriff Gregory Toney said he first learned of the crimes in November of 2021, prompting him to investigate all 5,500 of his employees, including himself and other top brass. Of the 17 indicted, 7 BSO deputies and 1 sergeant in law enforcement, and 8 detention deputies and 1 sergeant in corrections. We learned the defendants involved received tens of thousands of dollars, and while the investigation has proved that some of whom were investigated did have legitimate businesses, at the very least, the 17 now facing federal charges allegedly did not.
If you're going to be participating in criminal activities, we don't want you in this profession.
That PPP loan came back to bite me in the ass, y'all. These folks want me to pay them so much money, and to think that I thought I was actually doing something right. You know how you be.
Why would you think you're doing something right when you're committing fraud? You know you don't have the business, you ain't got no employees or any of the things they're asking you. You're putting in all this fraudulent stuff, and then people are crying victim. I can understand why they did it, but why they're shocked that they're getting jail time. Now that part I don't understand. You know what you did
out here, and you be trying to figure out, you know, what your next move gonna be and how you gonna make it happen. And then when something like that comes along, it kind of puts you in a trance. Like, damn, this is.
To me, this whole situation, I feel like COVID, that whole COVID lockdown and vaccine mandates, and people feeling rock in a hard place. I just think it magnifies what a lot of poor people go through. You understand? Is that you feel like you're in this situation where you have to feed your family, you have to keep a roof over your head or whatever, and then you commit a crime to do so, and then you lose your freedom. So it's almost kind of like a setup and a catch-22, like, you know, you're put in this messed up situation that nobody really had to be in, because there was no reason to mandate these shots and all of the things they did and lockdowns and all that. All of that, just they're showing now that there was no science that existed for it, and they just did it. It was a big money grab that they did with that, and it didn't benefit anybody but the ruling class elite. And it was a crime what they did. I mean, they really committed a huge crime. And I feel like these sentences that the people are getting are very unjust. And some people are getting lesser sentences for stealing higher amounts of money. So, you know, I don't know what to think of this whole situation. It's just, I don't know.
Actually something that I can actually get. And keep in mind, I do have a business, you know, and I guess the person who did my paperwork kind of screwed up. And man, I'm put in a position where I either have to pay a lot of money or I could be going away for a while. And I never wanted that to be the case, you know.
And that's the next thing. Don't ever allow anybody to do these documents and stuff for you if you don't understand what the hell is going on. Especially if somebody's giving you money and the government's giving you money and stuff like that, or you're getting grants and loans and things like that. You need to understand the document, you know, of what you're getting yourself into. Because and none of the excuses he's giving is going to matter. Let me just skip a little bit more forward because there was another. There's more people complaining, but what this lady has to say is profound.
Enough for PPP, EBT, SWB, TLC, WWE. I'm signing up for everything. All of it. Run me all of it.
Oh my! And her ass is on that list getting locked up today. But listen what this woman had to say. This is crazy, and I had never really considered this position, but this sounds about right.
My God, if you took out PPP loan during COVID, stop and watch this video. You are in big trouble. I just went to the quietest location of Chase that I normally go to check on my investments. I was checking on my stocks, seeing how my money is doing, because, you know, you got to take care of your money, honey. You got to nurture it. And I was talking to my financial advisor, and there was just so much commotion in there. I mean, it was like insane. I was like, what's going on? This is like the quietest Chase ever. No, like no one comes here. That's why I come here, because you guys know I hate people and people give me anxiety. And he told me the feds are here. I was like, huh? Like, it's like, yeah, those people that you're looking at, they're all feds. SBA? I was like, why? He's like, oh, they just subpoenaed us. Subpoenaed you for what? He's like, they subpoenaed us for people who took up PPP loan and deposited into their Chase account.
So the feds are subpoenaing the banks to go through their files to catch these people that deposited those loans into the banks to get the money. So y'all are screwed. Y'all are screwed. Y'all are screwed.
We have to turn over their license, their account, and also like footages of when they deposited that money into their account. Crazy. I was like, why now? Why are they coming for everybody now who took a PPP loan? He's like, because the economy is so bad. And the only way to turn an American economy around is free labor. And the only way free labor works is we send people to prison. So
did y'all understand what she said? They're locking up all of these people because the economy is bad and they want prison labor. And what the 13th Amendment says, if you're in prison, you can be a slave, and they work for next to nothing, free, you know, and a lot of corporations use prison labor. I should have put that on here, but go online and look at companies that use prison labor in the United States. You will be flabbergasted that it's almost every company. I was just so shocked at how many corporations use prison labor. And then you go in there and they're charging you the market price for everything when they got that shit made for pennies on the dollar. So it's a scam. And a lot of people, you know, believe that, you know, that it was a little bit of a setup because they knew certain people would run with this. And that's why it was made to be so easy. And the people that didn't scam the government, they got their loans forgiven and the rest are getting locked up. And not just locked up for months or a couple of years. Some people are getting decades over this. So they'll have, and what did the lady say? They have 20 years to get through this thing here. So for the next 20 years, they have thousands of people that they can lock up for this free labor. So this is diabolical. This was a trip. I wasn't even expecting this.
Can work for free in federal prison. And so half of America is going to go to prison in the next 4 or 5 years. And they're going to be serving at least 10, 15 years in prison. Let me tell you guys, I keep telling you, do not commit fraud. Financial literacy allows you to bend the law. It allows you to twist it. It allows you to yank it around, but you never commit fraud.
Yeah.
My dad growing up used to say to us, whenever the federal government or the government in general offers you free money, never take it.
Yeah.
Because there's always stipulations and there's always a reason why they're offering that money.
It is always stipulations, because just like I got unemployment, they want me to come to a job program and look for a job and do this and that all week long. It's annoying. And I don't see how anybody would comply with all that bullshit for that little bit of money. You have to just have better discernment. The government is not a hand up. It's a hand down. It's a kick down and a way to stay stuck forever.
Never take it. Never take food stamps. Never take help from the government. Don't take handouts from the government ever. It's never free. Never. So I ask, like, what can people do to beat the charges? Like, what are they going to do? Is like, you need to call your accountant if you took a PPP loan. and get that money, figure out a way to get that money, whatever money you took out, hand it to your accountant, have that accountant contact a lawyer on your behalf, and start negotiating with the feds immediately on how you can pay it back. You have to pay that money back, period. They're going to find out regardless if you had employees, if you used it to buy a car, if you used it to pay off debt, especially, because they will find that easily. They're going to find out whatever you use that money for. And if it's not for your employees, because that's what it was for, you will be facing federal charges, period. For them to subpoena JP Morgan, and come in there physically to collect evidence. And remember, if the feds are in your business and they're already digging through your business, they already have the information. They already have it before they charge you. They're just looking for more evidence. They already have whatever they need over you. Anyway, I'm not saying snitch, but they're also offering rewards. If you know anyone who took a PPP loan and you want to snitch on them, the feds will give you a check. Like, this is insane. I'm like shaking. It's so crazy too, because at the time when my friends, and I remember when those two girls took out their PPP loan, one of them got 47,000, the other one got like 65,000. Neither one of them had an employee.
That is such a little bit of money in today's world, and that will be gone in a couple of months, and then you're screwed, and now you're going to sit in prison for decades for that little bit of money.
And I had a full team during COVID, but I worked during COVID. I worked the whole time, and God blessed me. I made the most money of my life during COVID. But I remember then even they would like make fun of me, like, Nika, just take out the PPP loan. It's free money.
Please, I wasn't working, shutdowns, mandates. I wasn't allowed to work. And I had so many hardships and stuff. I, almost got evicted and everything. And I didn't know how things were going to work out for me. But I never considered committing fraud or committing a crime. And God provided. And now today, I'm in a much better place than I was before. These people, whenever you do something wicked or something unjust, you're always going to have to pay the price for it later. It might not be today. It might not be tomorrow. It could be years down the line, or it could be your ancestors. Look at the people in Africa. They're paying the price for what their ancestors did, the white people over there today. So that's just how karma works. And that's what's happening right now. So you guys have to have better discernment. And you have to have faith, and do the work that you need to do to make things work out in your favor. Now, I didn't take any money from the government for myself, but I owed my landlord $20,000, and I got the government to pay them back. You know what I'm saying? I applied for the paperwork and grants to pay them back because they have something called a one-shot deal. And I guess I don't know if it's a federal program or a state program or whatever, but it's like a one-shot deal. If you get arrears in your rent, you can the government will pay them off, but you only get one chance to do it in your lifetime. And I took out that for my landlords so that they could get their money back. And you don't have to pay that money back, as far as I know. And even if I did have to pay the money back, I owed the money. And they were lovely to me during the lockdowns and everything. And they were very supportive. And I wanted to make sure they got their money. And I did get it. And God blessed me with more money. So I left New York altogether. So I just say all that to say, don't think of committing fraud because I'd rather work my situation out and be broke than to be broken in prison for decades. Sorry. I don't see how people make that choice.
Money, it's free money. And I would say nothing in America is free. Nothing in America is free. And I did not take that money.
Yeah.
Wow. It was like I was just covered. Like everyone around me was doing it and I refused to do it.
Yeah.
I'm so blessed. The chances of you not facing charges if you took out that loan is slim to none because they're not going after the politicians who took out the loan. They're not going after the top 1% that took out the loan. They need.
Well, they are going after government officials and stuff that frauded the government and took money and stuff like that. I mean, they have gone after some of these agencies, but I feel like a lot of these Congress people and stuff like that, they haven't been gone after yet. Like, I feel like those people should be held accountable too. you know, but they say it might take years to build cases against these people. So I don't know if justice will ever be served on all the corruption that the Biden administration has done, or just the government in general has done. I don't know. We'll see.
You, the poor people, to do free labor, so they're coming after you. My heart breaks for all of you. Truly.
Well, there we go. She ain't lying. It is the poor people that's really going to go for this. She's right. You know, she's going to go. The poor people are going to go for decades. They're going to give them the harshest sentences and everything. It's horrible. It is sad.
I cannot make this up. I need somebody to catch this in the spirit, okay? I was offered the PPP loan years ago for my company, but I did not qualify. However, there were so many people that were like tweaking the numbers and switching one number around to make that number say that number, and all of a sudden you approve. It was just a push of a button that I would have been approved. It was just a push of a button that I would have had $20,000 in
my numbers would have been so off for my business. I knew better than to do that. But a lot of people did it, you know. A lot of people have businesses, they don't have no employees. They said they have employees. My business was just too new and I just didn't have any numbers. I said, oh, well, this is not going to be for me. You know, I tried to apply for a bunch of things and I just didn't qualify for anything. You know, all the things that they had, even if it was for people without businesses, I just didn't qualify for it. And I just said, okay, Lord, you must have a different way. And the Lord did have a different way. And the way that he had for me was 100 times better than what I could have ever imagined. So you have to have faith.
Early stages of growing my company, I turned it down. Now, when I said, no, thank you, I'm good. I'm just going to keep building. Glory to God.
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep building the business the right way. I know that, you know, the $20,000 will help Widow Kiddo in this split second, but I feel like I should just keep working hard despite me not having all the finances I needed at the moment. I kid you not. 3 weeks later, I get an email saying that I won $20,000 in a sweepstakes that I never signed up for. The fact that I was always...
That's what I'm telling you. A lot of things in life is a test. And you have to have faith, okay? That you turn down this thing, that 9 times out of 10, some better option is coming your way. And that is just what I have found in my life of being a single parent, that, you know, I never had to do any diabolical things because, you know, I just have faith. Okay, this is the situation that I'm dealing with. And a lot of times obstacles are put in your path to prove your faith. And a lot of people fail. A lot of people fail, and that is why their life is so full of struggles. And when you have faith, it makes your life pretty much worry-free because you know that you're going to be provided for. I love this young lady's story.
Working with my father, and the fact that I knew that he always had me, regardless of what my circumstances was looking like.
Yeah.
The overflow kept following me.
Yeah.
I didn't have to work for money.
And you know what they say? Don't chase, attract. Attract to you what you're supposed to have. Do the work and attract it. These people were chasing $1, and now they're going to be, I don't know what they're going to be chasing, locked up in federal prison for decades for a little bit of money. I know they all wish that they did not do that. That's why whenever you have a major choice in life like that, always take time and have discernment about it, because it's not worth it. It's not worth it. And I try to make good choices because I am a single parent and I'm not trying to be separated from my child. Y'all talking about, oh, illegal aliens getting separated from their kids. Oh my God, that's so awful. No, anybody that commits a crime gets separated from their kids. Go to a women's prison and ask them. Okay? So y'all need to stop with all this foolishness. You know, if they come here legally, that's a crime, and they could be separated from their kids when they go back. Unlike women that get locked up in prison here, they have an option to take their kids and go back to their country. When you get locked up here and separated from your kids, you don't have an option to bring your child to prison with you. So they're already winning over the people that get locked up over here that have kids. So y'all can miss me with that. That makes me feel so irritated about this society and how stupid they are being about this immigration thing.
I could turn down opportunities. I can turn down money. I can turn down people who want to invest in my company just because they know where it's headed. I can turn these things down knowing that I'm partnered with my Father who is everything that I need. God is watching your every single movement. Every moment was a test. And
let me tell you something. You really want to elevate your frequency? Hear this. Every decision you make, you're going to have to pay penance and you're going to have to answer for it. That's why we have memories, because eventually you're going to reach a place in your spiritual journey when you're going to have to recall and answer for all the things you've done, all the messed up things you've done. So you really need to repair relationships, work on yourself, try to be a righteous person, try to keep people with kindness, even when they're not treating you with kindness, because let the universe work that karma out on them. You understand? Let their karma watch you be successful and just move on with your happy and joyful life. You know what I mean? Everything you do has a price. When you do good, you get paid, and when you do bad, you get paid. You know what I mean? But it's usually in a negative way. So just keep that in mind and be faithful, and just know that everything here is a test. And what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And have discernment as far as any of the people you bring into your lives, because some people, their bad choices can ruin your life. Because just like the boy said, my cousin told me I could do this, and she, the cousin presented to him all simple, and he accepted the deal. And that's how the devil always makes you a deal, makes you an offer, and you have to accept it. So you just have to have better discernment.
Looking back on everything was a test. Everything was a test to see if I trusted my Father or had faith in my Father. I chose my Father, which is why I'm walking right into the greatest season of my life.
That's how I feel. I feel like with everything I went through over the last 5 years, because I was in such a good position. I was just given almost $1 million to buy properties. I wanted to buy some investment properties. I was given damn near $1 million. I had excellent credit. I had savings, more savings I had ever had in my life. And COVID took all that away from me. You understand? But now, today, I feel that I'm in a better position than I have ever been in my life after going through that. And I look at other people that made other choices and they're not. So just know that the greater the struggle, the greater the reward. Just remember that and go through the struggle, because you're going to be stronger and you're going to elevate your frequency every time.
My dreams are coming true right now. I'm like literally walking in it. It's like happening, and I'm not even doing anything. I'm just being obedient every day to what he's saying.
Yep. So I'm going to come off this one for now, because this goes on for a little bit more. Because I just wanted to, show y'all too that they're coming for y'all, not just for, PPP loans and stuff like that. Look at all those people that have to pay their student loans back. And I just saw a video too that they say that most of the people that owe these loans, they'll never get jobs. So that means they'll never be able to pay. They'll always be in debt for the rest of their lives. They'll never be able to pay that money back. So, it's just listen, I don't understand a lot of what's going on in society today. I really don't understand it. I really don't understand it. And it's like very scary, what's happening. And like more and more people are getting in debt. And my friend and I were talking about this yesterday. More and more people are getting in debt, which is going to make more crime, and, people will be coming off social services. All of the migrants are going to be off of social services and stuff like that. It's just going to make society a powder keg. And, where will we be in the next few years? You know what I'm saying? But it's something that has to be done. We have to go through this fire. It can't stay like this. It can't stay where all these people are bums on social services for their whole lifetime. It can't stay where we have all these illegals and our tax dollars are going to help them. Meanwhile, you got homeless veterans and homeless foster care kids and stuff. Everything just needs to be reallocated. And it's just something that this country has to go through to be better on the other side, is how I feel. But look at this girl getting locked up for a food stamp fraud. They're not playing. Food stamp, welfare, PPP loans, any type of government services that you getting that you don't really qualify for. That's, child, this is a mess.
Yeah,
He in
why
the
the
back of police
fuck
car.
the police came knock on my door? Literally moments after I made that video about the food stamp people saying I owed them $35,000. They fucking booked me in jail for fucking fraud. I'm currently walking down the streets because, bitch, soon as they released me, bitch, I got the fuck. I'm waiting on my mama to pull up in my car and pick me up. I didn't make it to a damn neighborhood down the street from the motherfucking jailhouse. I don't know where the fuck I'm at. I'm just keep pushing. Like, what the fuck? Like, I cannot.
She doesn't say what kind of fraud she committed, but I would love to know what was the fraud. Like, did she say she had kids and didn't, or like what the case may be? I don't understand that.
I believe this happened, y'all. Do not lie. I swear to God, this shit caught up to me so fast. I literally just was talking about this on TikTok the other day. Now look at me. So not only do I owe them $35,000, I'm literally fighting this fucking case. Like, where I'm gonna get the money from? Yeah, I was just hungry as fuck. I don't have money to keep buying food. Like, what the fuck?
But see, this is the sad part of it, though, is that a lot of people are struggling. And this is where I feel it's bad sometimes how social services work, because some people, now, if she didn't work at all, she probably will qualify for food stamps, welfare, and stuff like that, especially if she has kids. But if she's a working poor person, or just a person that doesn't work, that doesn't have kids, it's going to be harder to get these qualifications, and you only get like $25 a month in food stamps or something like that. So people, rely on these fraudulent things just to survive. That's why I say a lot of these things are crimes of survival. And a lot of people don't understand that, and they're very judgmental on these people. I have empathy for the people that are working poor, people that are, people that have kids and they're struggling during the pandemic and stuff like that, because I know, like I said, a lot of people, didn't take the vaccine, and they weren't allowed to work if they wanted to. So a lot of people were stuck in this hardship. So I can understand how people would make that a choice. Now, that lady that was a damn lawyer and got $15 million, like people like that, I feel that they should throw the book at, but they're not throwing the book at them. Like that other lady said, they're throwing the book at the poor people.
Oh my God.
So this is what we're dealing with here, y'all. So it's always some type of conspiracy, and a lot of the times people will say, oh, the government, they are, the government tries to hold us back, and there's all these things that they do against us, and to hold us back and stuff like that, like the prison industrial complex and things like that. But it is a setup. It is. However, if you don't commit crimes, you won't be in there as a slave with the 13th Amendment. You understand? A lot of men get locked up for their child support. But if you don't have a baby mama that's a psychopath that you can't get along with, and you don't want to be with her raising your kids, I'm just saying, the bad choices that we make is how we get in these messed up positions. I'm a single mother. I should have had better discernment, because me and my child's father do not get along, and that's why I'm by myself raising a child. I love my child. It's my only child. I waited very late in my life to have this child, and I adore him very much. However, I would have loved to be married and not have to go through that. So it's like a lot of our choices in life that we make, and the messed up shit we go through is our own fault. Okay? So if you want to elevate your frequency, you have to have discernment ahead of time before you make the stupid choice to do something that'll put you on a path of misery for your lifetime. A lot of these people are poor. They're not going to get good lawyers. They're not going to be able to work out good deals to pay this money back and stuff. They're screwed. And the feds are not going to give you no payment plan and stuff like that. They want that money in full, and they know most of the people don't have it in full. So this just, I would love to see my community elevate their frequency where they're not relying on these government services, and that we could create jobs for our own people, and that our people have better discernment and make better choices. It's very sad. I do feel sad for some of these people because their lives are over. They're throwing hard time. Everybody's making a joke of this PP loan thing, but a lot of people are getting some hard time for a choice that they made under duress of COVID, under duress of vaccine mandates, under duress of being locked down for 8 months and no money. And, you know, that was crazy what they did. And a lot of people are paying the price for decisions that they made in a time when they were like really under a lot of stress. So I don't know. What do you guys think of this? You know, this kind of made me sad a little bit because I didn't really realize that they were getting time like that. You know, I'm thinking, oh, they might get a couple years, you know, fraud, you know, money fraud. It ain't no real crime. Like, you know, nobody's dead. How the hell are you getting 45 years for stealing money during COVID when everybody's effed up? You know, it's crazy. I feel like they should look at, they're just throwing a book at people, but I feel like they should really be considering their circumstances, but it seems that they're not. So I'd like to know what you all think of this, but I'm going to go now. I'm Shelly B. I love you. This means I love you in sign language, and I really do. If you support me in any way and watch this video, I hope you share, subscribe to this channel, leave comments, watch the rest of my videos on TikTok, Instagram, wherever, you know, all over the place, Chatter, anywhere that you can see me. Just go and visit and like and just support the channel, because all I'm doing here is just trying to bring information to people that I know that they probably don't get. You know, I just want people to elevate their frequency and, you know, get on a higher level of consciousness, because I feel like if we all work on ourselves and elevate our frequency to a higher level of consciousness, the whole entire world will be a better place. Not just your life, but the whole world. And then with that, you know, each one teach one. You teach somebody else how to do it, and everybody elevates together, because all of these systems that we are entangled in, we really need to come out. So that's why I feel it is a good thing in a way that the government is trying to, you know, deter us from these social services, because it's going to force a lot of people to get out there and get up and do the work that they need to do, you know. And I feel like that will be a huge elevation for the community as a whole and for the world as a whole, because everybody needs to elevate their frequency, you know. So I'm gonna go. I love y'all. Thank you so much for being with me. I am Shelly B. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one.